What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Walking on Water. Thank you so much for tuning back in, and today we are starting out in my garage with a pack of herring, some Procure brine, and some Pautzke's brine. Now, we're gonna talk about the biggest household name brands in brines and scents, that being Procure, as well as its little brother on the big come up, Pautzke's. You know, every store possible that sells baits and scents, all the way down to the little mom and pop shops, have got Procure and Pautzke's in them. You know, they've been catching fish for years now, and so there's always been this big debate. Oh, how do you brine up your fish? What do you put in your brine? Which brine's the best? What scent do you use? You know, what size of herring? All of that. So I decided to take Procure and Pautzke's, two of the biggest household name brands, and put them to the test in a 2-day fishing challenge. Day 1's gonna be Procure and day 2's gonna be Pautzke's. We're gonna run them on yellow label herring, 10 hours a day, and we're gonna see how many hits we get, how many fish we catch, how long the herring lasts, and how long that color stays on the bait as it's spinning in the water throughout the day. So I'm super excited to bring you guys this competition video between Procure and Pautzke's. Let's see who wins it. Hey, what's up, guys? I just got done putting the days 1 brine, Procure, blue, and chartreuse into their containers. So we got the herring 24 hours prior to going fishing. Always throw your bait into your brine. You want to give it at least, 8 to 12 solid hours to get in there and let the scales tighten up, so you can spin that bait in the water for a few hours versus the 35 to 40 minutes you're gonna get out of a non-brine bait. So day 1, let the competition commence. Procure. Hopefully we got some tight lines tomorrow. Can't wait, super excited, stay tuned. All right, guys, so here is the Procure blue herring. As you can see, it's kind of wrinkled. It tightened up all its scales overnight as it brined for 24 hours. We're gonna get ready and put it on the hook here, and we're gonna fish each one of these, the green and the blue, for an hour each, pull them out of the water, and we'll take a look at it and see what it looks like after an hour. And on day 2 with the Pautzke's, we will do the exact same. Freaking got hit on the downrigger. Go to set the hook after it pops off the clip. It comes off. Look over. My freaking inline weight rod is going off. Woo! Procure, baby, 2 hits right in a row. What the heck? One-hour check on the bait. We're gonna see how the bait looks. We're gonna see how the scales are holding up. I know this is a green one, but let's take a look at it here. Scales are looking good, nice and tight still. Still got a lot of color on it. Still a firm bait. I'm still gonna fish it. Let's get it back in the water. Procure's looking pretty good so far. All right, guys, I'm gonna change out my baits here. So this is a 2-hour bait check. And for the Procure, as you can see here, we still have color to the bait. The scales are still intact. I'm gonna change this out simply because there's really no reason to run him past 2 hours. I brought a bunch of extra baits, so nothing wrong with freshening up a bait after you haven't caught a fish in a little while. So let's get back after him. I'm gonna put a new bait on. Hopefully we got a tight line coming soon. All right, day 2, Pautzke's. Chartreuse and blue. Let's go put it to the test. It's a freaking baby. Oh, Pautzke's day 2, baby. It's another baby Chinook, but oh, got it. It's definitely not a giant. I thought I lost it. Pautzke's looking good so far. Got a fish first thing here in the morning. That's 1 to 1. That's 1 to 1 fish, but the Procure got a couple hits, so. Hey, what's up, guys? Day 2, green, Pautzke's brine on the herring. We've already got hooked up one time. We're waiting for another hit, but let's take a look at this herring. As you can see, the scales are really tight. The dye is on there, brand new bait. It's not as bright as the Procure, but like I said, we've already gotten hooked up and the bait looks good, nice and tight. We're gonna go ahead and throw it in the water. Then we're gonna do our hourly and 2-hour test, and more action coming your guys' way. Stay tuned. Let's go after another fish. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and do the 1-hour bait check for the Pautzke's Chartreuse green. I'm thinking the bait's gonna be looking pretty good, personally. It's been looking pretty good so far. Let's grab it here. I mean, all in all, the scales are still super tight. The color's solid. It's still spinning. It's tough. As you can see where the hook's coming through, it's not torn or ripped. It's not soft. So I would say all in all, Procure and Pautzke so far are pretty neck and neck, with just as far as, you know, how the bait's holding up, the color that is lasting in the water over a period of time, as well as fish caught. So let's get it back in the water and let's keep fishing. Hey guys, so this is the Pautzke's 2-hour bait check. As you can see, the scales are still tight. The entry hole for the hook is still all intact. There's no skin or scales flaking away. It's still green, it's still a firm bait. I'm gonna go ahead and change it out. It's been 2 hours. Stay tuned for hopefully another big Chinook. Let's go, baby. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Procure Pautzke's post-game show for the 2-day fishing challenge. I would like to talk about first a little bit about how the baits compared to each other and how they looked, how they fished, how tight the scales were, and compare the two brines and the companies in that fashion. I think all in all, the Procure brine was a brighter brine. It looked better coming out of the jar initially, but The Pautzke's still looked really good and it still fished really well. Also, Pautzke's offers a whole variety of colors that Procure does not, so I think in that aspect they kind of cancel each other out. Fishing both Procure and Pautzke's, doing the 1 hour checks and the 2 hour checks, both of the baits still had really tight scales. Both of the baits were extremely firm still, and both of the entry points on each different brand's brine herring were still intact, and there wasn't anything flaking away. So I would say all in all, they are equal competitors in the aspect that the bait is firm and it fishes for the full 2 hours, so you have nothing to worry about there. So let's go into the Procure and how it actually fished and what it did on the water, and how many hits and how many fish it actually caught in the 10-hour time frame that it was fished. So day one with the Procure, I go out there, I'm fishing the chartreuse green, which is right here, the chartreuse green and the blue, and went out there, and within 45 minutes of being on the water, I got hit on my downrigger rod. It popped off the clip, I set the hook, real, nothing was there. Went and looked over to my right to my inline weight rod, and frick, if that thing wasn't going off, I was setting the hook on that and reeling it in. Ended up catching that small Chinook that you guys saw there in the video. So I would say 1 hit for Procure and 1 fish for Procure so far. So day 2, we go out there, I fish the chartreuse green and the blue, just like I did with Procure. The baits held up great. I was out there for probably an hour and a half, and I ended up getting hit, and I set the hook, it popped off the clip, and yeah, fish on. Got that fish in the boat, ended up fishing the rest of the day, and nothing else. So although the challenge was very close in Pautzke's and Procure compared to each other with bait strength and scale tightness and entry point of the hook and just for how long you can fish them, they're both amazing household brands, and that this speaks to how good they truly are because they are so comparable in every aspect. It just so happens that Procure did get the most hits. It got a hit and it got a fish versus just the 1 fish that Pautzke's got. So we have to label the winner of this challenge to Procure. So that's really sick. Congratulations. You guys are already in every household, store, every mom and pop bait shop. So you guys don't need any recognition for this, but I just want to say great job, Procure. This was a sick challenge. 2 days on the water is always an amazing time. Get outside, adventure, get outside with your family and have some fun. It's summertime, go fishing. Slay some fish, tight lines, like, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned for more sick adventures. Thank you for joining Walking on Water. Peace.